Well, good evening, everyone. I am delighted. My name is Sharon Rankin, and I am so pleased to welcome you to our weekly team call. And if I have not personally had a chance to meet you, I'm hosting this call along with all of our other national marketing directors who are joining in from around the country. But just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have been with the company for 35 years. And I really believe I have one of those rags to riches stories. When I started 35 years ago, I was a broke stay-at-home mom. And the reality, I was going to be a single broke stay-at-home mom. But let's fast forward 35 years later. I say I went from a broke stay-at-home mom to a rich gadabout grandmother. And so I am loving the mission of inspiring healthy living around the world that we have within our company, and our team is called Mission Possible. If you don't know, if you've not been with us before, Mission Possible is a growing team of inspired individuals. We're calling ourselves agents for change, who are dedicated to creating a healthier, more prosperous life for as many as possible right now, in this day, and in future generations. And that is what we're doing every single week as we go out there and shine the light for our Juice Plus products and invite people to our mission. This month, we have jumped on board the Energy Bus. And if you've been with us, you know what great time we've had all month as we walk through the Energy Bus and some of the rules that Joy, the driver, had. And so what I love about the Energy Bus, too, is that we are focusing on becoming, each one of us, as we've gone through this, energy ambassadors. And I hope you'll see yourself as an energy ambassador. And an energy ambassador, I believe for sure, is an ambassador or an agent for change. So we've worked through rules 1 and 2 and rules 3 and 4 and rules 5 and 6. Tonight we're going to look at 7 and 8. And Ann Isom in just a minute is going to direct us on that. But I will also give you another heads up. As you know, each week we've tagged the Energy Bus guidelines or rules with another piece of education and learning. And tonight is no exception. So when Ann is done, Paula Fontanelle, Senior Sales Coordinator, and Paula's from Columbia, Missouri. And I've got people from Columbus, Ohio, Columbia, Missouri, so we get all these Columbias straight. But she and I are going to team up and walk you through how we do a connection call, do a little role playing, just a little bit, how we do a connection call and how much fun that we can have. So be sure to stay on the line for that, because this is what we're talking. This is how we're duplicating our business. So Ann Isom is a qualifying national marketing director from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And Ann is, I called her today our energy bunny, because she works a full-time job. She has a very active family, but I tell you, Ann is always on our Monday night calls and encouraging others. So welcome, Ann, and thank you for coming to share.
Well, thank you. And hello, everyone. And as Sharon said, my name is Ann Isom. I live in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And I'm so happy all of you are on the call tonight. And I'm honored to be asked to share with you the Energy Bus Rules 7 and 8. So just very briefly, I'm going to share a short version of my story. I've been taking a product and have been a business partner for 11 and a half years. I was going through a very difficult time in my life with my health on the breast cancer journey when I was introduced to Juice Plus. I look back in amazement as how could this whole food, nutrition, and business come into my life just at the right time when I needed it the most. It was a God thing. I know He put this in my life to add value to my health and to give me an opportunity to make a mission out of my mess, and to give me an opportunity to reach out and help others to love on people and make a difference. And I am forever grateful. So on to the Energy Bus. I am loving reading again and listening on Audible. I don't know if any of you ever do the Audible, but I like it because I'm busy like everyone else, and it's really hard for me to find time to read. So I can listen in my car while putting on my makeup, while I'm in my kitchen. So I love that. And I do hope you've been reading or listening to this book as we go along. If you have not, you're missing out. It is an easy read, and I really encourage you to read or listen to the entire book if you've not. It will add value to your life and a lot of positive energy. I needed to be reminded of all the rules, and I need to be reminded to focus on positive energy every day in every phase of my life. So we're at the point in the book where Joy commended George for being a changed man, but she told him it is now time for him to be a changed leader. And the key to this change is in your heart, and that he must for sure lead with heart. And I personally, truly believe this is where success is and what it's all about. You can have all the education and knowledge in the world, but if you don't lead from your heart, none of that really matters. She told George she knew he had a heart, but it had been cold, negative, and numb for so long that it had gotten closed off, but it was opening up. She told him, God keeps breaking your heart until it opens. Every struggle, every challenge, every adversity brings you closer to your heart, to your true self, to who you really are. So sometimes you have to be broken down to the point where you feel powerless to discover your ultimate and true power. Joy saw this in George and told him that's why he came on her bus, because it was time to get in touch with the real, positive, and powerful man he really was. Joy told him he had to broadcast that power by opening and tapping the power of his heart. And George told her he didn't know how to do that, knowing he had only 2 more days before this big product launch. He wanted to know how to lead with his heart. And this wasn't Joy alone. It was the team of amazing people on her bus. And y'all, we all have amazing people on our bus too. And a passenger on the bus, Jack, who had been where George had been, was there with the answer. He explained to him that he had to become the chief energy officer, meaning that he had to share positive, powerful, and contagious energy with his coworkers, employees, and customers. It meant he had to communicate from the heart. So the bottom line, it meant that people would like you, respect you, and want to follow you, which leads us to rule number 7. Enthusiasm attracts more passengers and energizes them during the ride. Lead with positive, contagious leadership. This is what your team craves. They want you to lead with heart. Energy is contagious. When you are energized about something, it spreads to others. People love other people who fill them up with energy and enthusiasm. When you are excited about your vision and taking action to make it happen, people are drawn to you. And being around happy and positive people makes people feel happy and positive. So it's better to focus on feeling good and letting this feeling and happiness shine on others. When you feel good, others around you feel good. When you are enthusiastic, you feel really good, and this makes the people around you feel really good. Oftentimes, people don't necessarily buy our product or join our business because they love the product. It's because they loved your energy and enthusiasm, and they love you. They get excited because you're excited. A life touches a life that touches a life. It spreads one person at a time. As the driver of your bus, you spread positive energy through your words and your actions on your journey. People can literally feel your positivity, and that is what attracts other positive passengers and keeps them energized as you move toward your vision. So how can you exude enthusiasm and energy all the time and also stay real? Enthusiasm does not mean you ignore reality of challenging or difficult situations or act fake. It means you respond to tough circumstances by having enthusiasm and positive energy as a way of life. It attracts others who want to have that as part of their life too. So moving on, George was fired up and ready to move forward, but he didn't want to miss anything Joy had to say. She directed him to a sign on the road, "Love is the answer, God," and reminded him how amazing it was that the signs of life always appear at the right time to guide us on our journey. If you are open to the signs and look for them, they will always tell you where your bus needs to go and what you need for the ride. And the best of all, when you use the signs to find the right path and make a decision to follow it, God will move heaven and earth to support you. The right people show up, the right situations fall into place, Obstacles dissolve, creative ideas appear. It's just how it all works. And I love how she calls George sugar. Every time I hear that in the book, I just smile. So after seeing the sign, she then looked at George and said, "The sign was meant for you, sugar." And Danny, another passenger on the bus, shared rule number 8 with George. It is, love your passengers. Enthusiasm is important, but love is the answer. Love is what everything is made of. So to succeed in every area of your life, show your love to everyone that surrounds you. Really tap the power of your heart and lead with positive, contagious energy that you must love your passengers. You've got to become a love magnet by loving your team, your company, and your family. You share the love generously with everyone. Love is the greatest leadership and team building principle on the planet. Your relationships with people on your bus are everything. We all have heard this saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Loving your passengers and investing in relationships with them is a critical component to demonstrating that you care. When people know that you love and care about them, they'll want to get on and stay on your bus. Loving your passengers and bringing out the best in others generally begins with believing the best in others, even if you have people you feel that are hard to love. Everyone wants to be loved, and sometimes that special love that you might give is all it takes. This is a huge step that we all can take right away. Believe you have the best passengers on your bus, show them that you genuinely care about their success, and they will become the best. This approach builds strong, caring relationships that keep the journey positive along the way. When you love your passengers, they know it, and it impacts everyone's results for the better. So I'm going to end with this. Jack gave George a sheet of paper with a 5-part action plan of showing love to your team members. And I'm just going to close with the highlights and the rules, but be sure and read chapter 27, Love Rules. The rules, because it's got a lot of great information in there, so for sure read that. So the 5 rules are: make time for them, listen to them, recognize them, serve them, and bring out the best in them. So thank you all so much. I'm turning it back over to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you so much. And I've watched your team grow with that kind of energy and love for sure. And we all want to grow in those areas and have some really impact people's lives. So I just want to touch real briefly as Paula and I begin to share here about connection calls. You guys know that we have focused on this a lot. We've called it the connection call challenge. It's really the lifeblood of building our business. And if you are new to our team, you're new to this mission, and you might wonder what in the world is a connection call. It's simply 3 people or more, but at least 3 people coming together to share. And generally, the value of the connection call is, as a sponsor, where you connect your prospect or a customer or someone to your leader to help share the story. It's a validation, a third-party validation, and it can be done when you want to welcome a new customer or really even add new customers, or customer care, raving fan customer calls, appreciation calls, prospect calls, inviting to the team call. So many ways that we can do connection calls. But I will tell you, and I'm just going to read this, it's from one of our documents in our trainings, the value of a connection call, connecting your sponsor and NMD with a prospect, customer, or team member on a 3-way or Zoom is a wonderful tool for a validation. It is the power of 2 people to support a third-party connection and move that prospect to a customer, or a customer to a potential team member or distributor to distributor with goals. That is what we're doing every time we create a connection call. There's preparation for them, and how we prepare is so important. And I've asked Paula to come in and share just a little bit how she even prepares and what's the mindset. And then she and I are going to, Amy Redema, I believe, is on the call. I haven't seen her, but I think she's here. She's agreed to come in and do a little role playing for us. So welcome, Paula.
Thank you, Sharon. Thanks, you guys, for letting me share about this tonight. So I'm Paula Fontenelle. I live in Columbia, Missouri. I'm married to my husband. We've been married for 30 years. We have a son, Blake, who's 21. My background is physical therapy, which I did for 25 years. Now I'm hopefully retired from that. I was introduced to Juice Plus 15 years ago now from a friend at work. And though we did experience some health benefits, it really was just that intellectual decision that I knew I needed to get more fruits and vegetables in, especially my young boy's life at the time. He was 7. We were intrigued enough by all of it that we decided to go to a conference just to learn more, and we caught the vision of what this mission could do and do in our lives. And so we said yes, and we've been a part of it for just shy of 15 years. So excited about that. Well, preparing for connection calls is something that it's been fun for me. It's like when you want to introduce two friends, you think about the things that they maybe have in common with each other, or what is it you love, like, and admire about each other, and you share that with one another, and you're just that connector. And so one of the things that I try to do when I connect someone with Sharon is I try to think about the things that they would have in common. Maybe with Sharon, like, she had a mom who suffered from Alzheimer's, and I just recently had a new team member whose mom was dealing with Alzheimer's. I maybe have somebody from church, and I know Sharon is very involved in teaching in that environment. And so you just find whatever connection point that you can to help create a bond between the two before you even start. So, and you might think about what is it that you love, like, and admire about each of those people, so that when you bring them together, you can do that. So I think that's the background. Sharon, if you want to start our role play.
Okay, I'm happy to do it. And so Paul and I have connected. Let's just say we've connected on Zoom. And Amy, I haven't seen Amy. Let me click over here. I believe is Amy here? She is. Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome, Amy. And so we've connected, and Paula, you're just going to take it away as, like, Sharon, I'm delighted for you to meet.
Okay. So what I want you guys to know is that Amy is not a new distributor. She's actually a sales coordinator on my team, but we're going to pretend that she is someone that Sharon has never met. I mean, some of you already even know Amy. So we wanted to set that as to do with a role play, that this really is someone that Sharon has met, but we're going to pretend like she hasn't, and that she is a customer who's considering the business. So I'm the connector between getting everybody on the call. So we'll say we're all on Zoom together, and this would be how I would role play this. So thanks to you both so much for your time to get on this call. I know you're both really super busy, so I really appreciate you carving out some time for this. I'm super excited for you to meet each other. So Sharon, I would love for you to meet my friend Amy. Amy is a friend from church. She's married with 4 beautiful kids. She has a heart for missions. In fact, she lived in Tanzania, Africa for 5 years with her family. She's fun, she's funny, she's wise beyond her years, especially in spiritual matters. I've just learned so much from her, and I've been really blessed to have her in my life. Amy has taken Juice Plus for a few months now, and she came to a business opportunity gathering, and she was intrigued enough that now I think she's ready for a next step. So I'm connecting her with you. So Amy, this is Sharon. I've talked to you about her already. I feel like you maybe already know her, even though you haven't. So now you get to put a face to a name. Sharon is our team coach, and really a friend that I've known now for 15 years. She's been involved with this company for 35 years, and she and her husband Dave live in Nashville, and they do this mission together. She's truly the expert in the room, and she's just been a wonderful resource for me. She's guided me in so much, not only in my business, but even just in life matters. She really cares about me as a person and not just what I do for the business. She's a great encourager. She's a prayer warrior. She's just precious, and I know you're going to love her. So I'm really glad that you guys have the opportunity to meet each other. So with that, Sharon, do you want to take it from here?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Paula, so much for connecting Amy and I. And Amy, I really have looked forward to connecting with you. Paula had told me just a little bit about your relationship and how she knew you. So I've had great anticipation there. And so what I'd love to know is a little bit about you, Amy. So tell me a little bit about your life maybe, or even what drew you to Juice Plus. I'd love to know about that. And Amy, if you're
there, can you hear me now?
I
Okay.
can.
It's great to meet you. I'm excited to be here. I, as Paula said, have 4 kids, and it's just hard to feed them well. So that's kind of where it started, is especially I'm still nursing my youngest, and knowing what I'm eating is what he's eating. And just as simple as can be, I saw that there was a gap in what I should eat and what I am eating. And so that's, first of all, what drew me just to the product. Paula is a great friend, and she spent a long time telling me over and over and over about it, but she didn't give up on me. And I never felt like she was just trying to push a product on me. I felt like she really was just interested in me and my life and my family, and was convinced that this was something that would be great for us. And I really am glad that I finally said yes, because it has been a really great thing to have. Just, there's been some health benefits in our family that we saw right away. And so that kind of got my husband sold on it, which was great, because then there was no convincing there, because he was like, okay, this is a good thing, because I'm actually seeing the benefits in our family. Yeah, so that's kind of how we got started. Paula just telling me over and over and over, and I finally said yes and tried it, and we're fans. So,
well, tell me a little bit more about some of the benefits. Maybe I'm always curious to hear what people have enjoyed most. What has been their maybe 1 or 2 key things that they love most about their journey with Juice Plus?
Okay, well, after having one of my babies, I was having some issues, and I wasn't healing properly from that pregnancy. And it was to the point where I was scheduled to have surgery because I tried everything. I tried eating as much fiber as I possibly could to keep, plumbing flowing the way it's supposed to, and nothing was helping. And so I was scheduled for surgery, and they said, when you get older, you might have some issues controlling things. I was like, oh, great. And, I'm going in for surgery, and I could regret this years down the road, but I didn't know what else to do. And so I went ahead and went to an event that Paula was holding. And it was I think it was a primetime event with Dr. Sears. And I remember the light bulb finally just went off. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try this as a last ditch effort before having surgery. And sure enough, it is what healed my body, and I didn't have to have surgery. And just plumbing issues and I use that just so that it's not as gross for everybody, but with the whole family, really. Just our family is regular, and so many of us weren't before that, and we've not had issues with that since. Also, one of my daughters was just getting ear infection after ear infection, and she was about ready to have tubes put in. And once we put her on Juice Plus, she's not had one, and my other 3 children have never had one. And I know there's lots of children that don't get ear infections anyway, but for our family, we were getting them. And so now, that has been a huge benefit. And then, it's one of those things where when the majority of the people around us are kind of catching everything that blows their way, we have stayed pretty healthy. So those are just a couple things that have been huge for our family.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you have had tremendous, and I love hearing this. Amy, you and I have talked years ago, but not most recently. So I'm delighted to hear this, that you guys continue to enjoy the benefits of Juice Plus and see the value of it for your entire family. And generally, when somebody is a raving fan like yourself, the next step is generally, who have you shared this with? You have to share this with a few people, I would think.
Yes. And I found myself, at first saying, well, it's not anything that I want to sell, but then I just start talking about it and getting excited about it, and people want to try it out and kind of journey with me. And so, just like what was talked about tonight, just that enthusiasm is what gets people
Yes.
wanting to find out more.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like you are the perfect person that Paula is looking to link arms with. Someone who is passionate about their Juice Plus journey for their family, but about helping other people. And I know, coming from your background of missions, obviously making a difference and loving others is a part of what you do, for sure. And that's a part of your mission. So it sounds like an event made a difference for you. So where you are in your journey right now, Amy, I just would love to invite you. We've got an excellent event this weekend. I'm just going to jump straight to that in our time here together. We have an event in Chicago this weekend that is going to paint the vision of where we are right now in our community and our culture. And I know that you have seen our community and culture a little bit before, but it's been a little while. So what's the possibility to getting you to come to Chicago with Paula and I?
Well, I think I'll come. I think that sounds wonderful.
Well, we're looking forward for everybody to meet Amy in Chicago for sure this weekend. And Amy, we would love to have the opportunity, as you are open, to share a little bit more about who we are and what we do. I won't take the time to tell my whole story tonight with you or anybody else again, but it is our mission of inspiring healthy living is certainly growing, and we are looking for people like yourself who are passionate about helping other people. And it'll be our privilege to link arms with you. So thank you for deciding to come on along.
Thanks so much. I'm excited.
And thank you, Paula, for connecting us tonight. This is just a very brief overplay or role play, guys, with Amy and Paula and myself. Maybe it might help a little bit. And I'm just going to quickly share my screen on the mission-driven.info. If you haven't looked before, there is a document that I use all the time to help facilitate and guide us through connection calls. You can listen to a training. It has a potential team member profile, but right here walks you through the reasons, verbiage to invite if you're looking or uncomfortable to how to invite someone to a connection call. Here's some great verbiage, but your team leader can help walk you through how to do that. You set up the time and appointment. Boxer is a great way to do that. And then certainly explaining, anytime somebody does a connection call with me, I want to know what they love, like, or admire about that person so that I can have a better understanding of them. Your responsibilities is to introduce everyone, do good introductions just like Paula did. And then the responsibility of the coach or the mentor is, just as we've walked through a little bit, and certainly asking people to share their story, what they're excited about. And I didn't edify Paula as much as I would have normally, but you would know that I would edify that person, Paula, or as I did Sally today when I was doing a connection call with her. You're working with someone who knows what they're doing, they're committed, and you can have confidence in linking arms with them. So if you're not familiar with that, you can go to mission-driven.info and look on the index, and it's the very first thing that pops up, the document that pops up. So I hope this was helpful for you guys tonight, just a little bit of how we do a connection call. Our goal is to remove the fear that people have of doing these and create a place of trust, of confidence, and comfort that they are a key piece of building our business. And in order to do connection calls like this, you're going to need to talk to more people. I heard that Deanna Christopherson, National Marketing Director, just did a training most recently, and she said in the 5 years that it took her to get to NMD, she probably talked to about 500 people. Okay, if you're talking to 1 or 2 people every few months, it's not going to happen. we're going to have to increase the numbers. So that's what we'll talk more about as we go on. So I'm going to go back and thank Ann. Thank you so much for sharing the love and the energy for the energy bus. Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Amy, for playing along with us tonight. This call is recorded, and you will be able to, Cami will have this up for us tomorrow. So blessings, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence says a lot. So have a great week. See you in Chicago, everybody. Whoever's going to be there. See you in
Chicago, Sharon. Great call.
Big hug for Chicago. Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.